Hello and welcome to Unacademy. Wildfires have been raging in Europe in what has turned out to be one of the worst disasters that Europe has faced almost in the past century. I'm talking about the climate induced disasters here. Now, these wildfires have impacted large areas of France and Spain, and the aerial spread is increasing with the passage of the day. Now, in this particular session, we are going to look into the geographical reasons which are responsible for these wildfires and how oftentimes it is a cyclical seasonal thing which will lead to more wildfires going ahead into the future. So, first of all, we will talk about these wildfires, their overall regional spread, in which regions of France, in which regions of Spain are they impacting. Then we will be taking a look into the physical features, which are the physiographic regions of Europe and particularly in Spain, which are impacting these, and also eventually the geographical aspect. But before we move into that detail, an important announcement for all of you. Now, we have come up with the biggest offer ever. Now we are offering it the product of entire general studies coverage plus CSAT plus your test series, live answer writing in the class, the PYQ discussion, a structured way to finish your entire syllabus. You can enroll at 16,999, get the guidance from the best of the educators of the country, and you get 12 months plus free extension. Now, this is an offer which ends tonight. Do use the code IES English and avail the maximum possible discount. Now, having said that, when we talk about the region of wildfire, so you have the Bordeaux region of France. Now, Bordeaux region, for those of us who are unaware, this is the Bordeaux region, particularly around the area of Gironde. Now, this is famous for its vineyards. Now, naturally, it is very famous for orchard cultivation, where you basically grow certain grapes, certain other kind of fruits. It is not the region which receives very heavy amount of rainfall. So naturally, this is a dry region. And then you have fires near the area of Madrid in Spain, which is increasing. And now, lately, the fires have been increasingly being found in the region of Portugal as well. Now, all of this can be summarized in a very brief manner with the help of certain geographical factors. It is not only one geographical factor which is responsible here. Even the Mediterranean, the Atlantic is responsible for these fires raging up even further. The mountains in Spain are furthermore responsible for this. How is it so? So, first of all, if you take a look at these geographical reasons, the reasons is primarily induced due to climate change. Now, climate change is a reality that we all are confronted with. And within climate change, it is the aspect of the global warming year after year. The temperatures are rising up. Now, it was only 3 to 4 years back when Europe, particularly UK, etc., they had experienced the heat waves for the first time in a century to such a degree. Now, these heat waves have been exaggerated in their quantum. This year, in the early part of the summer season, you had the very famous cases of certain infrastructural pieces melting, or rather, basically getting deformed due to the immense amount of heat that they experience. So, climate change and global warming is a reality. And that is primarily because of increased emission of greenhouse gases. And these gases, they trap the terrestrial radiation from planet Earth. So they trap the heat. So that is a reality. So it increases the frequency and intensity of the heat waves, longer droughts, higher amount of evaporation. The most important factor here is the case of the warmer nights. Earlier, you used to have the situation where daytime would be very hot, nights would be slightly cooler. But now, even the nights are warmer. So, as a consequence, the surface doesn't cool down even during nighttime. While it has its definite impact on us, on humans, on the biodiversity, but the plants, they get dried out continuously. As a result of that, this dried out plant acts as a perfect fodder or a perfect raw material for these kind of forest fires. So that is why you have the longer fire seasons and drier vegetation kind which is present. Now, let us break them down into multiple certain factors. First of all, now this is something that you have been reading across for a long period of time. That is, there is a kind of a heat dome which is created over the region of, this is your region of France, this is the region of Spain. So basically, over the region of France and Spain, you have a kind of a heat dome, whereby, due to the presence of the jet stream, as the warm air rises up, right, it cannot rise beyond a particular point. You have the ceiling provided by the jet stream. And as a consequence, this air then starts being forced down. As it starts being forced down, it gets compressed. Why? Because from upper elevation to lower elevation, there is a kind of a compressive force. So as it starts to get compressed, there is heating, what is known as adiabatic compression. Adiabatic compression. Now, this basically means this sinking air will provide greater amount of heat. Now, what does the heat do? Heat will mean more air will start to rise up, isn't it? The process of convection naturally. More air will begin to rise up, will want to rise up. The air rises up, but at a particular ceiling, it again hits the dome created by the jet stream. So again, that air is pushed down. As it is a sinking air, even no cloud formation will take place. So solar heating is also happening simultaneously. Along with that, this air, as it is pushed down, further undergoes that adiabatic compression. So what you see is a kind of a continued cyclic condition of compression, due to which the heat, the temperature continues to increase. Solar insolation is anyways higher. But as true candidates of geography, let us even break this down further. That why does this heat dome get created? Everybody would have made you ratify that, okay, heat dome is created over Europe. That is why you have this heat waves. But then why do you have that heat dome in the first place? That is the reason of the jet streams. Now, planet Earth has got these high altitude wind movement, which is parallel to the latitude, by the way, which are known as jet streams. Now, these jet streams oftentimes basically they move from a kind of a west to east direction at higher elevation. Now, in these cases of jet streams, you will have, particularly in these areas, you have what is known as the polar jet. Polar jet. You have cold polar air from one side, and you have the warm tropical air from another side. Now, because of sometimes increased amount of heating, what happens is that these jet streams they meander. Okay. And this meandering, by the way, is not only a vertical meandering, it is a horizontal meandering as well. So, what does that mean? So, imagine if this is a jet stream, its height increases, height decreases. So, there, if this is the ground surface, so you can imagine you have the height at this place, the height increases, right? So, you have the jet stream basically meandering into different places. So, this meandering basically creates these air pockets, isolated air pockets where mixing of air does not happen. Otherwise, normally under geography, what do you see? Any region which gets heated up has got cold air which comes in by the process of advection, and thereby mixing of air happens. But jet stream forms a kind of a wall. It does not allow the cold air from the polar regions to come in. So, as a consequence, here the temperature keeps on increasing. Observe here a ridge of high pressure here builds. and this is the heat dome. Okay. Now, over a period of time, this heat dome basically creates a sinking air, which leads to compression, which will increase the pressure, high pressure. So you have a high pressure condition, heat dome, which is created here. It won't allow any cold winds to come from any side as long as the jet stream is present. That is why these heat domes are more permanent phenomena and a long lasting phenomena for that matter. Now, over a period of time, this heat dome basically creates that high pressure, and that is what France and Spain have been experiencing, due to which there is continued heating which has happened. But other than that, you also have had long periods of drought. Why? Because this high pressure will mean no cloud formation. No cloud formation means no rains. No rains mean drier vegetation, isn't it? Drier vegetation. But also basically means that the soil moisture is depleted. So it is easily flammable. The grasses, etc., they become easily flammable. Grass, leaves, twigs, etc., they act as fuel to the fire. Other than that, even the water bodies are getting heated up. Mediterranean, Atlantic, all of them are getting heated up. As a consequence, when the sea surface is warmer than normal, it adds more moisture sometimes. And that moisture keeps the nights warm. Why? Because water vapor is a greenhouse gas. It absorbs heat, does not allow the planet to lose heat very easily. So imagine if you have the ground surface with some amount of moisture here, so that heat which is being radiated by the earth during the night time, what is known as long wave terrestrial radiation, right? Long wave terrestrial radiation. Now, this long wave terrestrial radiation will be trapped by the water vapor, which means there will be further heating. Temperature will further increase. So the nights become warmer. So, as a consequence, even the vegetation cannot recover the moisture at night, due to which the temperature continues to increase. The vegetation keeps on getting drier. Now, this extreme heat means relative humidity is also low, less than 20 to 25%, and rapid evaporation does occur from your various different leaves. So, as a consequence, you have dried twigs, etc., which are present. Then you have the role associated with the mountainous regions in the area of Spain. Now, here, if you observe, you have the area, for example, the Cordilleras in the northern part of Spain, and as well as the Pyrenees. So, even if you have the winds moving in, let's suppose from the region of Bay of Biscay and Atlantic, now they will cross these mountains and they move downslope into these areas, isn't it? They move downslope. Downslope means as the winds move downslope, there is a kind of adiabatic compression. Adiabatic compression. Due to that adiabatic compression, again, temperature increases and the air is also dry. So, continuously, all these factors continue to heat the region and is conducive for greater dried winds, warmer winds coming into the vegetation, creating ideal condition for a fire. So, you will see, even if, let's suppose, there's a low pressure, the winds which come, they come downslope, and that creates the drier conditions. More winds come in. Now, whenever fire is created, fire has got its own property to fuel itself. Because when fire is created, immense heating happens. The region experiences low pressure, attracts more winds. Those winds fuel the fire and help spread the fire even further. Now, here, these fires, they basically also end up creating, a kind of pyrocumulonimbus clouds. And these pyrocumulonimbus clouds, they are very prone to lightning. These lightning then basically can also hit the ground surface, further igniting the regions which have not been exposed to fire. So intense heat, right? That causes very hot air to rise. It causes and creates the pyrocumulonimbus clouds. In certain areas, it can cause rainfall, but it can cause lightning events in very large areas. And that is where you experience more forest fire. So, this is the reason why the entire region of Europe is burning. If I have to summarize this, first of all, in a flow chart, first of all, you have the case of due to climate change. Okay, climate change is the major factor. Due to climate change, what do you have? You have the case whereby the jet streams are impacted, meander, right? These form upper level ceilings, upper level blockage, right? That induces what is known as heat domes. Heat domes further increase the heating, increase heating. Now, this heating, which further is increased, now, along with that, you also have the case of increased or lack of cloud formation, lack of clouds means more solar rays, dry conditions, right? Vegetation dries, right? Completely dries out. Now, as this happens, along with that, you also have heating of water bodies. Now, this heating of water bodies basically induces more moisture during night, means heated nights, and heated night basically induces drier vegetation. And this, along with the fact that you have downslope winds, downslope winds, and heat waves. So both these condition meets and you have wildfires. Okay? So this is the geographical aspect in as simplified and the detailed manner as is possible. Now here, I will leave you with a question. In the region of Bay of Biscay and slightly to the south, that is to the western coast of Portugal, there is an ocean current. What is that ocean current? After all, there is a role in the dried conditions being created by that particular cold ocean current as well. Let me know about the cold ocean current in the comment section below. And if you have liked the session, don't forget to click on the like button, share it with your friends, and if you have not subscribed to the channel, do subscribe. Till we meet again, do take care of yourself. Goodbye. Thank you.